Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are earning your sunrise. I hope you guys are taking in this beautiful day that God has given us. I'm doing things a little different than I normally do. Today, I ended up spending about 20 minutes doing red light therapy. First thing that I wake up in the morning, did this red light, there's a huge benefits and there's huge advantages of doing this to help you with your circulation, help with inflammation. I'll provide more details as I go along so you can see the whole setup. I'm just basically just getting started with it. But while I'm going through it, I was listening to a lot of podcasts, or I listen to a lot of content off of YouTube. And the one thing that kind of popped in my head and kind of resonated a little bit more is when you look at your age. And if you're hitting, because I'm at the age of 50, and then people say, oh, half your life is gone. Well, that's if you live until the age of 100. And even at that age of, when you're close to that age of 100, are you truly living your life? Are you truly living your best life? Because, we tend to slow down. That's why people tend to start doing the things right now. And you see this younger generation that are living it up right now because they realize, I'm going to do it now while I have the time. Whereas my generation would be, we're going to work, and then we're going to set aside this time to go do things. So I kind of look at it as, it's each person has a different preference. Each generation has a different preference. But it comes right down to it is, what do you really want? When I was on a vacation and I was talking to this couple, they told me they have 3 vacations. They got his vacation, they got her vacation, and then they have the family vacation. And when you think about that, they do that every single year. I think what ends up happening is that's a smart way of doing things, because what we end up doing is we tend to only postpone things. Like for myself, I would look at it as my vacation like maybe every 2 years or so, and you're only spending a few days rather than really taking in the time. Because when you look at it as you're always working, you're always putting off what you can do today, you're putting it off till tomorrow, and we don't know whether or not we're going to have tomorrow. But I also do know that you still set aside, and you put those seeds in for you can go ahead and flourish and grow, because you don't know when you're going to have a rainy day. I understand that completely. That was ingrained in me by my parents. However, I also look at it too is that we need to start living our lives. Because one of my good friends, I grew up with him, and he told me, look, man, if you're delaying all the stuff that you want to do, you're going to get to the point in your life when you're too old, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to travel. You're not going to be able to have certain experiences. So start having those experiences. So that's what I kind of say to you is this. When you look at the age of 100 and you go half of that, that's 50. But what does the normal age of a person lives? It could be like, say, 70 or 80. Let's just go ahead and just say 80 years old. 80, and if you hit half of that, that's 40. If you are close to the age of 40, you're already mid-age. Okay, so think about that. And think about, what do you want to do? Start prioritizing your time, prioritize your life, put things down, and realize that you need to do this in your life. Because that's one thing for myself I can definitely say is that, I would always postpone things because work would get in the way. Whereas when it comes right down to it, work will always be there. And if work is not there, then the thing is like, you look at it as, I can't do this. But then all of a sudden, maybe that job is gone. And you postpone things that you really wanted to do because you're thinking about this job. Whereas when you pass away, what will end up happening is your job is looking for your replacement. Okay? Your family are going to be grieving for a little while. Then they're going to start living their lives. And they're going to start moving on. So when it comes right down to it, it is only you and only you. It's a you and that person in the mirror. So think about that. Start living your life. Start making it a priority. Start looking at the things you want to do. Start having those experiences. I know I'm talking about this because for myself, it's almost like this is a video more for me, because I need to start looking at living my life more, because I was always focusing on, all my athletics and doing that type of stuff, doing competition after competition, going from training. And yeah, I had those experiences when I would go and do a competition. Like, I would use an example. I was in Buffalo, New York for a competition at one time. I went to Niagara Falls. I had my passport, so I went into Canada. I took a taxi into Canada because I didn't have a car. That was funny, whatever, because the taxi driver said, seriously, you want to go into Canada? I'm like, damn right I do. And I didn't have a plan on how I'm going to get back, because when I tried calling the taxi cab, it was basically, the number cannot be reached from your calling area. And so it was funny, because then I said, okay, well, I'll just take a taxi to the border, then I'll walk across the border, then I'll go ahead and get another taxi back to my hotel room. You always find a way of doing things. Another time I was in San Diego doing another competition. I ended up just exploring the beach, exploring what was to offer in the Gaslight District. Another time I was in Miami for a competition. I ended up going to South Beach. I only had a room for that particular competition the day before, so I can get prepared, and it was away from the venue because I wanted to be away from everything. Once I went to the venue, I took my luggage with me. I had my luggage with me, and then I couldn't, figure I'll go get a hotel room somewhere else. Didn't realize that everything was all booked up. I ended up in a hostel. That was an experience, I'll just tell you that much. But the one thing good about it is it was 2 blocks away from the main beach. So I was able just to walk to the beach, back and forth, going to trying all these different restaurants, trying many different things. I even had lengua, which would be tongue tacos. I even had cricket tacos. I even had alligator. Everything that I do, I'm looking at it as having an experience. Like, I was able to go to the Arnold Sports Expo. I went as an athlete, so I was able to go ahead and just go in every single day that I was there and didn't have to pay. I also had a shuttle that took me there because I was an athlete. Saw many different things. And because of being an athlete, I was able to meet so many high caliber individuals. Like, I was able to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. The thing is that doing things, you have advantages in doing things, but however, as you get older, you start realizing that you need to start doing things more in your life. Think about that. Think about all the things that you want to do, what experiences that you want to have, and just make it a priority. Because I know for myself, as right now, since I'm semi-retired from the sport of Olympic weightlifting, even though I love the sport and I know I still got stuff left in the tank, it is because of my back. It's a doctor basically told me, he said, yeah, you continue doing what you're doing, you're gonna have to have a spinal fusion. And part of me is like, damn it, I'd rather go ahead and do the things that I really love to do, because we don't know what's going to end up happening in life. However, I also look at it too is that I do want to have the ability to walk. I want to have the ability to not have numbness in my feet. And both my feet were numb because of the injury that I had, and it was painful for me to even walk. I was bedridden for quite some time. And then now I'm doing many different things. I'm hacking my life to finding ways of saying, hey, how can I be active, and how to go ahead and reduce the inflammation in my body so I could still be able to do the things that I love to do. Yeah, I might not be able to go ahead and clean and jerk 110 pounds over my head. Might not be able to do that anymore. I'd be able to snatch 80, 90 kilos anymore. I'm not going to be able to do that, even though I love the sport that I do, and knowing that what I'm able to do and accomplish, because I know, as coming up in December, the World Championships in my sport are going to be in Orlando, and yet I'm not able to represent the United States, which was I had plenty of times doing that, and it's something that it's a pride. more than anything else to do that. But however, you look at it in life, that sometimes that you have to deal with the cards that are given to you, my friends. So I want to just leave it you with this, is that start living your life, start making it a priority to have experiences, the things that you want to do, because I know for myself, I haven't done a lot of different things and I'm experiencing these things. And yeah, I should have these experiences at the age of 20 instead of having these experiences at the age of 50 right now. So you guys have a blessed, you guys have an awesome day, and be about it instead of talking about it. And namaste, my friends.